Hello everyone. So today I drew the Joker and I forgot to start recording it, so I'm a little way into the sketch when I actually start the video, but it still comes out pretty good. So anyway, I've always liked the Joker since watching Batman back in 1989 with Jack Nicholson playing the part, and yes, I've always loved him as a supervillain, and so I have drawn a particularly nasty looking version of him. And if you like what you see, keep watching. Hello again. So what I'm doing here, now that I'm actually recording it, is I'm just working out like the basic sketch. So I'm sort of like figuring out how I want him to be. And it was based on a picture actually of Joaquin Phoenix as the Joker, laughing his head off in the hospital. So I'll include that picture in this, I think, so that you can see where I was coming from with this idea. But mainly I like the idea of just sort of playing around, doing like a real proper sketch, doing a little bit of light line work, placing everything where I need it to be, and then doing sort of heavier lines over the top, just to sort of really figure it out. And then I start blocking it in. So now I'm just blocking in the colours, just doing it all quite flat, just to sort of divvy up the variation of his colours and stuff before I start applying shadows and things like that. So as you can see, this is like if you change the sketch to multiply and then paint underneath the sketch, you still get the sketch over the top, which really helps. And now I'm just adding all the lights and shadows and stuff, which is sort of fleshing him out a little bit, making him a little bit more believable. And gradually I'll think about the light direction as well, which I'm thinking is landing directly on his face. Just adding a bit of colour here. His classic green hair, blue eyes and red lips. I love really trying to get the aggression in there as well. They haven't done it yet, but they did do something a little bit similar in was it The Dark Knight with Christian Bale, where Two-Face had his lips exposed, his, you know, like you could see through his mouth, and I have always thought, oh, you know what, that'd be quite a creepy thing to do with the Joker. So, you know, I thought I'd give it a go here, maybe inspire a future director to go there. But yeah, it's pretty dark, pretty intense. It's probably going to be a horror if they do this version. So yeah, adding lighting now. So I've done a sort of a multiply version of the painting, and that helps sort of with the contrast of the shadows and stuff. And then once I've done that, I can blend the two layers together and then start applying a light layer to it as well. And then, you know, it's just a case of like squeezing them together, playing around with the lights and the darks, and really building into those muscle definitions and the creases in the costume and stuff like that. I'm very pleased with his level of aggression. I do start to bring that out a little bit more. As disturbing as it is, I couldn't help myself. It was like I had to put some blood in there and some broken fingernails, and the smear that he's got on his face is obviously from, if you've seen it, perhaps I shouldn't say, but it was inspired by Joker with Joaquin Phoenix. So if you've seen that, you'll know what I mean, and if you haven't, why haven't you actually seen that film? Because it's really, really good. So yeah, at this point I'm just doing all the highlights, and I do fix the fingers and thumbs. So, you know, once I start to sort of get to a stage where I'm like really going into the details and stuff, I tend to sort of hang back. So this picture I did over a couple of days, and I sort of came back, looked at it, and I could see the mistakes. And I suggest that a lot of people should probably do that. Also, like if you flip the image as well, right and left, and just, yeah, that's another good way I've found that people suggested in, you know, being able to spot differences. My things that I tend to sort of get wrong tend to be the eyes. You know, like if I flip it, I can realise that I've got one eye higher than the other or something like that. But I try to stick to certain rules where, you know, between the eyes is usually an eye distance, and between the frown line to the tip of the nose is usually an eye length. So I try to do all that, and also, you know, like the grin, you know, that's probably about, you know, the grin shouldn't go further than halfway across the eye. So yeah, this is me just signing it, thinking I'm finished. I am not finished. In fact, as I record this, I can see that I'm now entering the cut where I've looked at it and I've gone, okay, I can fix this hand, I can fix that thumb. So I do a few extra bits, which is fine. I think I shrink the thumb. I'm not entirely sure. I think I play around with it and cut bits out of it. But yeah, I liked sort of putting all the blood splatter everywhere. That was good. I thought he's got blood on his elbows because he's been elbowing people, blood on his knuckles because he's been punching people, blood on his face because he's smeared his bloody nose. You know, I wanted him to come across absolutely crazy. The other thing that I do that I thought I'd struggle with, but actually it turned out okay, I wanted the idea of him dragging himself back. So I want to sort of, like, in my head, I'm thinking that Batman's inside the same cell as him or something, and he's dragging himself back across the desk and being genuinely creepy. So I put like a smear from his chin on the table as well as he sort of drags himself back, which I thought was a fun thing to do. Apologies if you don't like creepy, horrible pictures, but I'm assuming if you've got this far, you're probably okay with it. Oh yes, and a little bit of dribble. That's always good fun. Yeah, so I do a pool of dribble. So I was playing around with that to try and make it look more convincing. And here we go. Here's the chin smear. I'm just trying to work out how to make it look consistent with the rest of the picture, sort of thinking about the direction he's coming from. Eventually the actual big smear, I play that down quite a bit, but I smear some blood in there and a bit of bloody chin. Oh yeah, please like and subscribe. Let me know what you want to see more of, and I will do my best to impress. And here's the finished article. So let me know what you think in the comments below. I also write books, which you can find on Amazon. If you look up Richard Coyley, I write sci-fi and horror. And I'll see you again soon. Bye.